Welcome back to Exceptional Talk with Pastor Leon Thomas. If you don't do anything else, you have to listen to part one. And now you cannot miss part two. So, back to Pastor Leon Thomas. We were in the process of talking about the state of the community. So, Pastor Thomas, please continue on when you were talking about mainly where the pastors are coming together, supporting each other, and how great that would be.
Okay. So when I was talking about supporting each other, because we got to keep in mind every church finance is different. So this church may have a large budget, and this church, the little church on the corner, may have whatever they get in for tithes and offerings. So it's hard to reach out, and I know there are certain things that you can grasp and things you can help, things you can get to help your church, but it's easier said than done, especially getting somebody to write a grant for you in that process. So it's more of getting that knowledge to kick
And the
off resources to kick off the church. But it will help if that small church on the block can go to that big church up the road and say, hey, I need resources to help me out. How can you do that? But of course, you can do it. But the problem is, will someone be consistent helping you to do it? And
right.
from what I'm getting and from what I've been in the ministry, it's very hard.
Okay.
Like I said, everybody have their own thing going on in their own
And you're absolutely right, because I can remember when I first initially enrolled for my doctorate, and I wanted to reach out to some of my fellow uh, academias that had already obtained their doctorate. So I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to have any problems because I know several people that have their doctorates already. So when I started to reach out, I started to hear certain things like, oh, it's been so long, I don't remember, you know, but I thank God that it allowed me to do what I needed to do. So when I did my oral defense,
Mhm.
my chairperson he was just floored. He was like, "Oh my God, you going to have to do this again, and I want you to do this study anonymous." He said, because you know the ins and out of everything that you are providing for your dissertation. And
Wow.
it made me do what I need to do. And the same thing with what I'm wanting to do for this business and what I want to do for my Women with Purpose. I have an organization, women organization. It's called Women with Purpose in Purple. So
Mm.
I'm going to have to do what you're going to have to do, Pastor Thomas. We're going to have to immerse ourselves into other ways, because trying to get other people, like you said, everybody has their own way of how they want to run their business, right?
Right.
But I was told that if you get the blueprint,
Mhm.
just I don't you don't have if you could just give me the blueprint
Right.
and I could go from there, you know, that's the part that they don't want to give you.
Right.
Because they're afraid that you're going to take that blueprint and you're going to do greater things.
Right.
God has for each one of us what he has for us. That's why most often people don't understand that they try to do the same thing, but they're not blessed the same.
Right. There you go.
We're not going to be, because what is for me is for me, and what is for you is for you. So I can still go down the same way,
Right.
but I need to find my way. See,
Your way.
most often we try to do it the way they're doing it.
Right.
You got to do it the way you have to do it, the way God has ordained you to do it, and that's why I pray and I always ask God to order my steps, because I don't want to follow in anybody else's footsteps. I just
Right.
need to follow in his, and then therefore I know that I'm going the right way. So it is difficult, and I know for a shepherd that has a lot of sheep, I'm a supervisor that have 18 teachers and 14 para. And let's talk about administrations, and then let's talk about the parents. So it is a lot.
Right.
So I just stay grounded, and because I pray.
Right.
And that's how I get through it. And I know for you, and I'm so glad I had the opportunity to meet you, and you have a story to definitely tell. Because one thing I would love for you to come and talk to my students, because they need to understand that where you are now is not where you're going to be for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. That's what you see when you're in that situation. You're looking at, they call it the box syndrome. So they're looking at, they cannot get outside that box.
Mhm.
And I was one, but I had, of course, I had people like
You have
you,
the right people in your, yeah.
right, to show
That's what
you.
it's gonna take. And
Mhm.
that's why I try to be one of those with my students, to let them know I don't want to just teach you academics. I want to teach you as the whole child. Because
Right.
when you walk out of here, of course, yes, you need this, but then you need to know about life. You need to know what's going to be presented to you outside these walls, because people in these walls are protecting you. People outside the walls will not protect you.
You're
So
absolutely right.
there's a whole nother world, you know.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
glad to have this conversation with you because you're absolutely right. And I love educators like you because, like I said, educators like you help me to push to that next level of seeing that life can be hard, but you can overcome that storm,
Absolutely.
that mountain.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So, is there anything that you would just love to tell my viewers, kind of leave them with a takeaway, so that, and of course, talk about your church, because we may have some viewers in the area would love to come to your church.
Okay.
Actually, I think I'm going to come and visit.
Good.
So, in the meantime, tell us where your church is located, and then you can tell me a takeaway.
We over on 2501 Beverly Avenue. You can get it off of Bankhead. So it'll one of everybody familiar with the Zone One Police Precinct. It's like a mile down, and you turn right, right there, and you'll get right